Hi there guys, as you just heard, these amps can sound incredibly similar. Not identical, but definitely in the same ballpark. The differences are subtle. I would say that the JT20 is a little bit maybe warmer, a little bit mushier sounding, for want of a better description, and not quite as mid-forward or aggressive as the SV20 is. There's basically one sound in each of the two amps where the other one can't replicate it. So if you want some kind of clean headroom, the JT20 would be the one to go for, although I wouldn't have said that either one of these amps would be the best option for clean, because it's never going to be terribly loud. But the JT20 will remain clean up to about 11 o'clock on the loudness, which would mean that you could get over the top of maybe a small jazz combo. Anything more than that, I would say that you're going to end up in some kind of distortion or just mild overdrive. Whereas the SV20 doesn't have any clean headroom at all. As soon as you have that dial about a quarter on the loudness, you're already into classic rock or country rock rhythm. And anything below that, the bright cap will cut in so harsh as to render that sound completely unusable, or it would be for me. It would be incredibly thin and very, very fizzy sounding. Now you could of course clip the bright cap, but I'm just talking about standard configuration. Either way, it wouldn't be loud enough to get over the top of a band. As soon as you're loud enough to play over a drummer, it's going to be distorting, whereas the JT20 has just enough, I would say, to play a clean solo, and it would sound something like this. Now there's no comparable setting I can play on the SV20 to that sound that you just heard, so what I'm going to do is play a quick back-to-back on the same loudness setting on both amps, just playing a clean chord, and you'll hear that the JT20 remains somewhat clean and the SV20 is well into rock territory by the time you get to around about 11 o'clock on the dial. I've got one other example here because this might also impact which one of these two amps you would go for. I personally get all of my drive from a drive pedal. So if you were to run each of these amps around about halfway and then use some kind of a drive pedal into the normal channel of either one, you can get really similar results. And so then it would just come down to whether you wanted clean headroom for maybe playing on a recording or small gigs, or whether you wanted that chimey rock rhythm thing, which would be very, very difficult to get out of the JT20, even if you had a drive pedal that had that kind of character to it. Anyway, here's a quick comparison using a drive pedal, which is my small fry burn unit, into the normal channel of both amps. So which one would I go for? Well, for me, I think I've got the right one, which is lucky because it was the only one that was available to me when I bought mine. The JT20 came out later on. I would just say that if you want that clean headroom for playing at home, I'd go for the JT20. If you're looking to jump the two channels and get all of your gain from them, I think that you would be happy with either one. I think if you're using your drive pedal for the vast majority of your gain, either one would be good. And if you want the classic rock, country rock, chimey, almost Vox-like sound that you can get out of the bright channel of a Plexi, then the SV20 is the one to go for. Don't forget though, that if you're using a drive pedal for your main lead sound, you're still going to turn the amp up to a point where it wants to handle that drive pedal. So you're still going to turn it up to halfway on, maybe even 2 o'clock. At which point both amps are fairly similar and there's no way of foot switching between those sounds. So if you want both that smooth drive sound and the clean sound, the only way I could think to really do that with this amp would be to have an A/B selector between the two channels, your drive pedal going into your normal channel, which is how I was running it for that isolated example, and then you could flick to the bright channel and that would give you your clean sound. And the same would be true for the SV20. That's not something that I do. I just back the volume off on the guitar and that suits me, but it's not going to suit everyone. I don't think these amps are necessarily for everybody. I can't imagine many people doing function band gigs with these amps. Please post in the comments if you are. I could be really wrong about that, but a non-master volume amp that is nearly always distorted is probably not the way to go for that gig. Anyway, I hope this was useful to someone. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Later.